Are you following what's going on in America these days? What a roller coaster, up and down, crazy new events several times a week. I've never seen an election cycle like this, or an America like this for that matter. And I thought my family was dramatic. My head could be spinning, but it's not. That brings up the question, can God reveal the results of presidential elections to his children in advance? I'm Lynmarie. I have experience with that, so let's talk. I want to briefly comment today on the viability of the idea that God's everyday people can be told the outcome of things like elections, because I have a few under my belt myself. Why is it so hard for so many of us to comprehend that God can and may reveal the identity of upcoming U.S. presidents? After all, Jesus rose from the dead. Well, let me highlight 5 scriptural reasons that speak to why he can. Number 1, the Holy Spirit, like God the Father, is omniscient, knows everything, past, present, future. No one knows the things of God except the Spirit of God, says Paul in 1 Corinthians 2:11. And 2, the Holy Spirit dwells inside God's children. Know ye not that ye are the temple of God, and that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you. 1 Corinthians 3:16. And 3, the Holy Spirit speaks to us personally. We must sensitize our ears, of course. He, the Spirit of truth, will guide you into all truth, for he shall not speak of himself, but whatsoever he shall hear, that shall he speak, and he will show you things to come. John 16:13. Some try to complicate this. Cessationists argue that the Holy Spirit stopped prophesying when the perfect New Testament canon was established. That's a huge topic on its own, so let's go on to reason number 4. Because the Holy Spirit knows everything, dwells inside God's children, and speaks to us individually, we might end up hearing things in advance, even regarding international events. Things that comfort us, encourage us, and direct our paths. But the one who prophesies speaks to people for their strengthening, encouraging, and comfort. 1 Corinthians 14:3. Edification, exhortation, comfort, to be King James literal. And number 5, God is not a respecter of persons. We don't have to be an influencer to be provided insight into high-impact topics. For God does not show favoritism. Romans 2:11. And he is not partial to princes, nor does he regard the rich more than the poor, for they are all the work of his hands. Job 34:19. Actually, most of the dreams believers receive are prophetic. That is, they're God-given rather than soulish. They're encoded messages from God, not always recognized as such because the majority of dreamers haven't learned about the reality of this phenomena or how to break the parabolic code. Followers of Jesus rarely dream a soulish inner hope or desire. And if we do, there are ways to identify those soulish dreams. Rather, we are recipients of letters from God, letters sent in living color and in the parabolic language of Jesus. Now, with respect to God sending insight about the future, I prefer to use the term prophesy rather than predict. Predict is more familiar to most people, so I sometimes use it for that reason, but it's not really the right term because predict implies uncertainty. The more correct term is prophesy because it signals that the information came from God and is therefore accurate. But you'll hear me using those terms interchangeably in my videos. So, that about sums it up in brief. I'd appreciate your subscribing so you won't miss some highly captivating prophetic dreams I plan to share related to this topic. And so the algorithm tells others the content on this channel is of interest. See you soon. Be blessed and live beyond your wildest dreams.